What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In the last video, I finished removing the vinyl stripes on the Evo. No issues with that at all. I also removed all of the emblems off the trunk back here. I did have one issue when I was removing the rear gurney on the wing. I was trying to remove the adhesive right here. You can see where the paint started ripping. Really sucks, but it is what it is, and I'll get it resprayed. Removing the vinyl stripes, removing all of the emblems, removing the gurney, all of that was to prepare the car for a ceramic coating. I picked up quite a few things here to make sure that the paint looks good before I actually lay on that coating. Hopefully it comes out really nice. Stay tuned. If you didn't see the last video, go check it out. I removed the vinyl stripes, as I said. No issues getting them off, no issues getting the adhesive off. They've been on here for almost a year. Emblems back here, again, no issues at all. Top right here, when I was using my eraser wheel to try to get that adhesive off, it just burned the paint. To be honest with you, if I would have just taken my time, I think I was getting very, very impatient and frustrated, and so I just started putting a lot of pressure on there. Luckily, as I said, my painting skills have gotten really, really good. I did my rear aprons back here a while back. This was actually the first thing that I ever painted, and they've held up perfectly. Painted the wheels, painted the calipers. This is probably my most favorite thing that I've painted. This black and orange combo came out so good. My nemesis up here that I finally finished, I had to repaint this front lip 3 different times. Also in the last video, somebody, previous owner, I'm not sure who, they dripped some paint right here, and then up here I was able to sand it all down and polish it out. It looks like it never even happened. For this video, I want to ceramic coat the entire car. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing the wing back there. Depending on how quickly I can find one, I may also not do this trunk because I am currently trying to find a trunk with no keyhole. For anyone who's new to the channel, I bought this trunk and wing combo secondhand. The car came with a carbon fiber one. The car is a base model GSR, so this thing has no use here. Over here on my little stand that I built, there's everything that I picked up to do this project. First step is to fully wash the car really, really good. Second step is clay barring, which is something that is fairly new to me. I bought this one and the clay luber a little while back. I don't know how far this one little clay bar was going to get me, so I did order this pack on Amazon. It was fairly cheap, but it had great reviews. Once that is done, I decided to finally invest in an actual DA polisher. This thing was purchased off of Amazon, so it's not a super expensive one. However, I did pay a decent amount for it. Again, one of those things I just read reviews on, and a lot of car guys that said they actually had shops bought this thing and it works absolutely great. It's also supposed to come with some pads and polishes and everything like that inside of there. So that's a cool bonus, but I'm not going to bust into that just yet. When it's time for this step, I'll open it up. Also, for the polishing step, I went ahead and picked up this light right here. My guy Brian on Paint Society suggested it. For the price, really, really good deal. The 3M one I think runs like triple what this thing costs. Harbor Freight has one too. It's their Braun brand, but it only comes in one light temperature. This one actually has 3 different adjustments that you can use. And then the last and final thing is the ceramic coating itself. I went with Avalon King. I actually took advantage of their Black Friday special and got 3 different kits. First things first though, before I get to any of this, I've got to wash the car really good, like I said. The thing I'm going to do right before I actually wash the car is clean the garage out really good. You can see all of this dust and dirt and leaves and all of this on the ground. I want to get all of that out of here before I pull the car back in. Once I've got the garage all cleaned out and car washed off, I will go over the clay barring and start working on that. window is all washed up. For anyone who's curious, I have had this little pressure washer. I got it on Amazon a couple of years ago, and it has actually lasted a little while. The only problem that I've had out of it is when you actually leave it on and you're not using it, it just continues to do that little cycle sound. But I just simply turn it off when I'm not using it and then flip it back on when I'm ready. My brother-in-law actually picked this little thing up for me. It's a foam cannon, and you just hook it up to the pressure washer. The soap that's in there is this Meguiar's Hyper Wash. Wash it all over once really good with the pressure washer. Then I hit everywhere with the foam cannon. Wipe everything down here with the pad. Use the bucket to wash it off, and I just usually empty the bucket pretty often. Somebody like me who doesn't like to go up to the car wash all the time, this is not a bad alternative, and it's not super expensive. For the clay barring, I'm gonna start on the roof. To be honest with you, I don't really know how I'm gonna go about this just yet. I don't know if I'm gonna do just one section, do everything, get it completely ceramic coated, maybe go ahead and polish it and then move on to another area, clay bar it, polish it, and then do all the ceramic coating afterwards. Honestly, it's all gonna be depending on time, how long it takes me. So like I said, I'm just gonna start with the roof. The clay barring shouldn't take a whole lot of time. Once I'm done with that, I'll get the roof dried off really good, and then I will bust into the polisher and this light over here. I'll start working on getting any swirls or scratches out. Roof is all clay barred and finished up, polished. It's actually the next day. This took me the better part of about 4 to 5 hours, partly because I'm a newbie at it, and then having to take the time to open all of this stuff up and figure out how to use it. The Astro light works absolutely great. I love how it has the 3 different settings on there. Also very impressed with the polisher. I actually did not use the maroon pad. That's the medium one. You can see here in the kit, it comes with 3 different pads for the 6-inch and then 3 pads for the 5-inch. Comes with some sandpaper. It also comes with a little apron and a few other things, not to mention the bag to keep it all in. Very, very nice for the price that you pay. It also comes with some compound and polish, but I did not use these. Reviews on this thing actually said this stuff is pretty good though. To be honest with you, the scratches are really not that bad on the entire car. The only place that they're really bad on are the wing and trunk back here. I guess the person that I got the trunk and wing from just didn't take as good a care of it as the person I got the car from. Because the rest of the car was not that bad, all I used was my Meguiar's polish. If you look at the wing back here, there's a little bit of polish that got slung everywhere, but you can see all of the scratches in the paint. And let me go show you the top up there. Top up here, just a very, very nice glass smooth finish all the way to the front. There's a couple of small little scratches in there that you just can't get out. You know, if you took some time, you probably could polish that all the way down, but overall, very, very, very happy with how this came out. A couple of things that I wish I would have done differently if I did it again. First thing is I split everything into basically 4 sections. I should have done it into 6. Once I started doing the polishing, if I came all the way out here and I didn't come all the way back, this polish that was out here started to dry really, really quick, and it took forever to get it off of there. Second mistake that I made, and I really hated myself when it happened the first time. I actually did it twice, but while I was using the DA, I lifted it up to look at something, not thinking that I needed to turn it off, and when I did, it slung polish everywhere. So that's the other reason why it took me so long, because both times that I did that, I had to stop polishing up here. I had to come down here and wipe all the polish off where it slung. This is a very tedious project. Very, very happy to have the roof done. I know that I've got quite a few hours left into this. The plan from here is to do the rest of the car. I want to clay bar and polish the entire rest of the car. Once everything is all polished up, I can apply the ceramic coating. Finally, after almost 2 full weeks, the Evo is fully clay barred, fully polished, ready for the ceramic coating. Being a newbie, I really wanted to take my time on this. I wanted this thing to turn out really, really good. Clay barring step, once you get going, doesn't take that long. You can pretty much knock it out in just a few hours. The polishing step, however, was a little bit of a learning curve for me. For anyone else doing this for their first time, let me just try to help you out with the mistakes that I made, the things that I learned from this. First and foremost, if you saw me doing the top up here, and then I did everything else with the rest of the car, I used way too much polish when I was doing the top. A little bit of polish really does go a long way, and it actually keeps everything from creating a mess. This 6-inch pad right here, 4 little bitty drops is plenty for each little section that you do. Using less polish, that in itself really saved me a lot of time. It saved me a lot of cleanup time, having to wipe everything down afterwards. Another thing that I did differently that I didn't show at the beginning is I busted out my drill with the attachment here. Some of these smaller areas areas were just too tiny to get in with the DA, especially up front and around these little edges. It was much easier to use that drill. Truthfully, I used the DA about 50% of the time, and I used the drill about the other 50% of the time. So I really don't feel like you can get away with just one or the other. You really need both. You don't have to necessarily have the drill attachment. You just need something small and something big so that you can get those big areas and those little small areas. If I didn't have this thing, using that drill on these doors or on the roof or the hood would have taken absolutely forever. One other big thing that I had to realize is using different microfiber cloths, changing them out very often made a big difference. I am cheap and I try to make things last as long as possible, but once these things get clogged up with all that polish, you really do have to change them out. Just a few tips that I picked up along the way from doing this thing. As I said before, I did not do the wing. I did not do the trunk back here. I also went ahead and decided not to do the passenger side doors. This car is definitely not perfect. It is all of the original paint. However, these two doors are the absolute worst of the entire car. Everything else, I don't really mind sliding, but this bugs me a lot down here. This was damaged from the previous owner, and it looks like he just tried to cover it up with some touch-up paint. It looks to me just like there was a bunch of rocks or something that was slung up here, but it really destroyed the side skirt. It really destroyed the bottom of this back door. The front one up here is not as bad, but if you can see down here, there are some really big marks. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but there's quite a few more up front up here. So before I ceramic coat these two doors, I am gonna go ahead and repaint them. Very happy to have the car polished off though. Super excited to get this ceramic coating on there. It has taken a long time to get to this point, so let's get it. Ceramic coating is fully applied everywhere on the Evo. This entire detailing process, this was definitely the easiest. I would say definitely the quickest also. In total, to apply the ceramic coating everywhere on the car, obviously I didn't do the wing and I didn't do the two doors over there, but it took me about 6 hours total. I mixed this up myself, but they do make some that you can just buy pre-mixed. All it is isopropyl alcohol and distilled water mixed down to 12 to 20%. It says 12 to 20% because it just depends on what I can buy, so it's the ratio that I mix it down to. This is the range that they recommend to use on a wipe down. I did everything with the IPA wipe down. I did each panel as I went, and then I just followed the instructions that they gave me. I did purchase some extra cloths on Amazon. Please do yourself a favor and do that if you're going to do this. It does say that this stuff will harden up on here and you have to change it out, but I never had an issue with that. The problem with me changing it out is every now and again I would drop it, and once it hits the ground, it's pretty much gone. It says to apply this stuff liberally, so that's what I did every single time. I would just put dots dots all the way along the line, just make a straight line down the center. That way it was completely saturated. I would do that every single time that I did a different section. It may have been too much, but I did run out and have to open up a second bottle. But I think it does assure that you get good coverage. And if you order multiple bottles, you get a really, really good deal. If you're doing a small coupe, a little two-door Honda Civic, you could probably get away with one bottle, but a sedan for sure you're going to need two. A big vehicle, you're probably going to need 3 or 4. I started on the roof, which was a really good idea. It's a very, very big piece. It's very easy to learn on. The issue was when I did my polishing, I did too big of a piece. I wish I'd sectioned it into smaller pieces. However, with this, you can actually do much larger sections. You just have to make sure that you saturate the cloth really good. What really helped me as a time saver is what I started doing is just doing one section on this side of the car, then doing one section on that side of the car. It goes with everything. When I did these quarter panels over here, I did this quarter panel, did this top piece, then went over there, did that top piece, wiped this down, then went and wiped that side down, came back over here and just started on another section. That really sped the process up. If I did it again, I definitely could cut my time in half. I feel like 3 hours to do an entire car. I'd probably give myself 4 if I had to do the other 2 doors and the trunk and wing back here. But everything went on exactly as it should. I read the instructions. You can't really tell if there's doing anything. It does look a little bit shinier, but to me, it really looked good after I polished it. It does say you're supposed to wait 4 to 5 days, and the longer you wait, the better before you actually get it wet. I'm not going to be able to really show you the water beating off there in this video. However, if I bust my light out here and you just look at everything, it is absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Just super, super shiny all the way through. If you look at the doors over here, it just looks so freaking good. Everything looks just absolutely amazing. Just to give you something to compare to, here's the back of the trunk back here. You can see all those swirls, all of those scratches. The polishing step took so long, but it was so well worth it. I'm not sure what I'm gonna get started on first yet. If I'll get started on the wing back here, I'm really thinking I'm gonna get started on the doors because I'm gonna try to find a trunk that doesn't have the keyhole. I am gonna go ahead and end the video here. I feel like these are the type of videos that don't really make that great of content, but they're the ones that I put the most work into. If you liked it, if it helped you out in any way, please hit that like button. If you want to catch more going on with the Evo, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys next time.